Hey everybody, so I thought I would make this video to show you how I put my makeup on with the feeding tube. So I've seen one other video like this on YouTube and I really enjoyed watching it, as I love watching makeup tutorials. I've recently just got more into makeup and it was really good to see somebody make a video that has a feeding tube, because you don't quite know how difficult it is to apply makeup when you've only got really 1.5 bits of your face to work with. So I'll just jump right in. The first thing I do is I just kind of put my fringe out of the way using a hairband. And what I also like to do is, bear with me, sorry, I just grab a bobby pin and I pin my NG tube back, because that makes it a little easier to kind of work with things. Obviously don't constrict it or anything, because it might cause damage, but just loosely put it down. So the first thing I do is I take my primer and I use the Baby Skin Instant Fatigue Blur, and I just kind of pop a reasonable amount on the back of my hand, bearing in mind that I do only have a smaller amount of face to work with, so I don't need as much makeup. If you see me look across here, it's because my mirror is across here, so I'm not being rude. So it's easy enough to put it on the side of the face that doesn't have the tube. So I just apply that normally to kind of one side of my face using my hand. And then when it gets to the side with the tube, I pop it kind of below the tube and just rub that in, being careful not to get it onto the tube or the plaster. Then I do the forehead and just kind of above the tube, again being careful to avoid the plaster and the tube. So next thing is foundation, and I use the Collection Colour Match foundation in Porcelain 1 because I have really light skin, and even then it's kind of not exactly the perfect match. Again, I just pop it onto the back of my hand, and what I do is I take my pointed foundation brush and I just dab it in and I apply it just kind of in dots to the bottom of the tube, and that kind of makes it easier to kind of apply it so that you're avoiding the tube. And again, I just do that to kind of underneath my eyes, just above the plaster tube, and on my forehead, and kind of just where the tube doesn't quite meet my face, just past my nose. So then what I do is I just take my fingers and I just gently rub it in, trying to be mindful of the tube, because you're not wanting a very foundation-y coloured tube, because that's not really going to be great. And then I just rub that in like so. So that's half my face done, and then I just apply it to the other side of the face, and I tend to just do this with my hand because I find it makes it a bit easier, but whatever you find easier. And then top of the head, eyes. I do normally take more time and care when putting on makeup, it's just I don't want to make this video insanely long. And I just kind of bring a little bit underneath onto my neck, because you don't really want foundation lines. So yep, I'd say that's reasonable. I take my concealer and I use Natural Collection concealer in Fair, which is again the lightest shade, and I just pop it underneath my eyes, again being mindful of the tube, and I just pop it on my nose and covering up any blemishes I may have, and I just dot it in like so. That just conceals anything I don't quite want revealed. I take my powder and I use Miss Sporty So Clear Anti-Spot in 001 Transparent, and I do this side of my face just pretty normally, and again just bringing it down slightly, and that just makes sure that my makeup's not going to come off as easily. And then the forehead of this side, and I just do the eye and underneath where the tube is and just down the side of my nose. So that's pretty much the only bits I cover. Then I take blush, and obviously I'm only going to apply it to this side of the face, and I use the Cali Brick blusher. So I just pop it on, careful not to kind of make it look too silly. So that's that part on. I take eyeshadow primer, and I use the Absolute New York eyeshadow primer, and I absolutely love this primer. I just pop it on top of my eyelids and underneath, mainly because I put eyeshadow underneath my eyelids as well. And I just rub that in gently. And I'm going to be using the Naked palette by Urban Decay, the original one. And I'm going to be taking the light shade, which is Virgin, which is this one right here, and just popping that on top of my eyelid and also a bit underneath, as it kind of just brightens up the eye. And I also find it kind of takes away from focusing on the tube as much, so you know, it kind of makes your eyes appear brighter. Next, I'm going to be taking the Sidecar, which is this shade just here, and just popping that kind of to the outer end of my eyelid. I'm doing that on both sides, and then just gently blending it with my finger. Then I'm going to be taking Half Baked, which is this really pretty gold colour, and I'm just going to pop this in the inner corner and just blend it in. And again, do that with the other side. And I'm going to take some mascara. I use the Miss Sporty Fabulous Lash in 001 Black, and just pop that on my eyelashes. I personally just do the top, but I know some people do like to do the bottom, so it's really just whatever your preference is. And I don't usually apply lipstick or lip gloss, but if you do, then obviously you'd apply that. So that's how I apply my makeup with a feeding tube, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye!